a pardoned Capitol Rioter who, of course, did not end up having to serve the jail sentence that he was sentenced to because of the pardon from Trump, Owen Shroyer, who also happens to be a host on Infowars, lashed out at Donald Trump this week, not only for, of course, the Epstein stuff that Trump is very clearly covering up, but he also took a moment to sound the alarm about what the next big scandal from this administration is going to be. And it's something that has not garnered as much attention as honestly it should have. In fact, I haven't seen a single story on it other than David Pakman talking about this story earlier in the week. I have not seen articles on the news sites that I check all day, every day, talking about it. And I'll get more to that in just a second, but first, let me read you what Owen Shroyer, again pardoned Capitol Rioter, had to say about Trump covering up the Epstein stuff. He said, "By now you've likely seen President Trump's latest Truth Social post, basically saying the Jeffrey Epstein story is a hoax, and those that are still talking about it are, from yesterday's comments, bad people and now his past supporters. So this is like Hillary calling us deplorables. This is President Trump basically signaling to his base, his original supporters that have been with him since 2015, that he's moving on. At least that's how I take it. So the people that have been fighting with him since 2015, the people that were in the streets for him, the people that were in prison for him, he's moved on from us. So now we're his past supporters. We're hoaxers. We're bad people." I mean, yes, but not for that reason. He then predicted that Donald Trump's approval rating would hit an all-time low, possibly by the end of the week, which of course is ironic because as he was making these statements, we did get new poll numbers showing that Donald Trump's disapproval rating is in fact at an all-time low. So that's one prediction that actually immediately came true. Trump's approval rating is, according to the latest polling data, at an all-time low. So, okay, Schroyer's 1 for 1. Is he going to hit 1 for 2? This is the health part. The thing that, again, the only other person I have seen talk about this is David Pakman. Maybe others have. You know, I'm not trying to take credit away from anybody. It's just I've only seen Pakman promoting it. But anyway, Shroyer continued. "I think what's going to start happening is Trump's age and health is going to become a big story. And I will just say this. He's wearing more makeup than he normally does, including on his hands now. He's wearing makeup on his hands for whatever reason, so things are just getting weird." Now, in case you have not seen those photos, yes, you can see from the photo that Donald Trump has a giant patch of makeup on his hand. And it's also very clear from the photo that there is the one area that is just oversaturated. And as somebody, you know, with a big shiny bald head, I used to have to do makeup back with the other studio lights. That is both concealer and powder. You're not going to get that kind of coverage with powder. They put a liquid foundation, I guess, on it to cover up because it needed that much cover up. It wasn't something you could just, you know, do a quick powder. So that's something very serious. Now, I will tell you this, what that reminds me of, you know, I have a father who has had heart problems for, you know, roughly 20 years now, goes in for surgeries all the time. So he's on blood thinners, he's on all kinds of things. When he goes into the hospital, he gets an IV every time. And it goes into his hand. And because of the medications that he's on, the blood thinners, it leaves big giant bruise on his hand. Sometimes that can last for 2 to 3 weeks. So that's what that looks like is being covered up. To me, based on what I have seen through my own father's health, that's what you would do to cover up that kind of bruise, which suggests that Donald Trump could have made a hospital visit, you know, in the recent past, and that he's also on more medications than were reported in the health report that we got just a couple months ago, because it did not list blood thinners. It listed cholesterol meds, it listed blood pressure meds, it listed his aspirin regimen, but not blood thinners. So, I think Shroyer is right, and that's probably the only time I'm going to say that. I think they are covering up a serious health issue, just like the administration and the media have teamed up to cover up Donald Trump's very obvious cognitive issues. So the Epstein thing is very bad for Trump, and honestly, shockingly, getting worse every day. But the big scandal, the health cover-up, I agree with Shroyer, the age and health, I think that is going to become a massive issue in the very near future. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support of us here at Fair and Balanced, and I want to introduce something completely new. We have now opened up memberships for our fans, and by signing up and becoming a member, you not only get exclusive early access to each day's videos, so you will get to see them a day before the general public, but you will also qualify for badges, emojis, special little icons. So please, we encourage everyone, if you want to help support the channel, please think about signing up and becoming a member. It is your support that helps keep us going. So thank you all very much. Check out the perks of membership, and I hope to see you all as members very soon.